Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for that. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to share my um, opinion and views on what we're experiencing in our association, which is predominantly in the MICE industry, which is the corporate travel side of things. But in summary of some of your questions, what we experienced immediately after COVID in 23 and 24 was what was termed revenge travel. There was a desire to reconnect, to travel, to experience the globe after being in lockdown for what was it, 3 years during COVID. We're starting to see that peak is flatlining a little bit. It's starting to come back into what we would consider more normalcy. But what we experienced pretty much globally around the world during 23 and 24 was massive supply chain constraints. So hotels had laid off huge amounts of people during the pandemic, as had travel agencies and the whole supply chain. And what that resulted in with this boom in travel and constricted supply chain resulted in a reduction of service levels, and some really difficult situations in the supply chain, especially on the hotel side and venue side. That seems to have normalized somewhat, although skills shortage in our industry is a massive concern. There is a serious constraint in lack of training in the hospitality industry, in the travel industry. Many people, young entrants into the industry, do not perceive the industry as exciting or secure. And it's very deadline driven and very stressful. So we find it very difficult to attract new talent into the industry. So I would say that is one of our biggest challenges. Regarding the demand, travel is booming like never before. Obviously dependent in different areas of the world. We are affected by the conflicts and ongoing conflicts in certain regions, but Europe, the US, South America are all seem to have a very healthy appetite for travel across all sectors, whether that be the leisure, the touring, or the MICE sectors. I've just returned from the US, from one of the largest trade shows, IMEX America, and there is no doubt that demand is there. We were concerned that there would be a delay or that there would be a wait and see attitude for the upcoming American elections. But the fact of the matter, what we experienced on the ground was that there was a very healthy appetite for travel from American corporate companies and third-party agents to travel around the world. Due to the increase in demand last year, we've seen a trend moving towards second-tier cities. So some of our traditional capitals in Europe, like Rome and Barcelona, have fallen off the radar, with clients looking for more authentic experiences and looking for second and third-tier cities. One of the trends that we see coming through from a younger millennial traveler is that they are looking for an authentic or real experience, as we would call it. So they are looking to immerse themselves into the culture and the destinations of the destination. Finally, regarding sustainability, this is a big challenge in our industry. Unfortunately, tourism, and especially the MICE industry, is not by its nature a sustainable industry. Flying 100 or 200 people across the world for an incentive trip is hard to justify. However, having said that, there needs to be change. Sustainability is high on the agenda for many corporate companies. They are looking at sustainability and the impact of sustainability on their travel programs. And I think what that will result in is a regionalization of travel plans. So especially in Europe, we are seeing trains rather than planes. Travel distances are shortened. And we will most probably continue to see more of that regionalization. So corporate companies will most probably be looking to travel to their nearby neighbors rather than across the world. And this has been backed up by some of the American Express global travel research that they have been doing that is indicating a small reduction in long-haul airfares going forward, and an increase in local and regional travel. So sustainability needs to be addressed. The tourism industry has a lot of work to do, and it's not just about greenwashing or event greenwashing, as they call it. There needs to be significant change in the industry towards a more sustainable future and making travel more sustainable. But we're also seeing that the demand for travel is huge. It remains very buoyant, considering all of the impacts that we're seeing around the world. Certain markets are very, very resilient, such as the South American market is very resilient. We're seeing big numbers coming out of Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico across the world. The US seems and appears to be buoyant and moving forward next year. And this morning in the UK, we've received some surprising inflation data. Inflation is down from what the projected number was. They were expecting 2%. It was announced this morning at 1.7. So we are seeing some good financial highlights and some good economic indicators for the future. So all in all, my experience, or what we're experiencing at the moment, is quite positive. Thank you. For your first question, can we sell Egypt as a standalone destination? Yes, most definitely. Egypt, as my colleagues alluded to, has always been a resilient destination. I believe that the fundamentals, and this is the same for any country or tourism operation, as long as the fundamentals are there, then I believe any destination is viable. And when I talk about the fundamentals, does it offer value for money? There is a big focus on authenticity and experience. And I believe that the new museum in Cairo is just an exciting, massive opportunity for Egypt to promote itself to the world. I believe you are perceived as a safe destination. However, that said, I think that is very market specific. Some markets are more sensitive than others. We've seen this in other destinations around the world. For example, Egypt is not unique in its situation with its regional neighbors. We are seeing a similar effect in, for example, the Baltic states and Poland in their relation to Ukraine and Russia and what is happening in that part of the world. Yet the Baltic states and Poland have seen strong resilience come back, especially in the leisure market. But it depends on the markets that you're targeting. For example, the US market, as we all know, is quite fragile, mainly because of their worldview and the travelers' knowledge, and also their history in destinations of travel. But as I alluded to earlier, I find that the South American markets are extremely resilient. The South African market is another market that is extremely resilient, and offers huge opportunities. So can Egypt be sold on its own, and can we sell Egypt? Yes, most definitely. It's all just, a lot of it boils down to communication. This is where we rely on tourism boards and convention bureaus and destination marketing organizations to do their bit to promote the destination with what we call social proof or proof. So that is using social media, that's using advertising, that's displaying what's actually happening in your country at a specific time, so that people can see what is happening and what is going on in real time. With the generation that we have at the moment, there are so many outlets to convey that message across. Regarding the opportunity to unbundle yourself from a destination such as Jordan, yes, Saudi Arabia is definitely creating huge noise in the tourism world. They obviously are throwing a lot at it, and aligning and partnering up. However, in my personal opinion, I believe whilst it's beneficial to bundle a region, I do believe that Egypt is strong enough and has sufficient product offering and excitement and experiences to stand alone and doesn't necessarily have to be bundled with other countries in the area. And finally, in relation to your question about price and budget and cost effectiveness, yes, yes, yes. I mean, I think that value is difficult to find in the travel world at the moment. We've seen airlines such as Emirates post record profits. A lot of the supply chain has used 23 and 24 to regain a lot of money back from what they invested or lost during COVID, and are now looking to reinvest that. But the margins have to come down. We're seeing hotel rates in traditional cities like Barcelona and Rome and London that we have never seen before, and that's simply unsustainable. And that's creating a shift in the market where a lot of people were staying in five-star hotels can now not afford to do so and are looking at the next level. And my colleague is so correct from Hilton there. There is nothing wrong with a good quality four-star hotel. In fact, in certain markets, especially the MICE market and the incentive travel market, that overt luxury might almost be frowned upon. It's nice to have for the upper segments, but for the corporate market, there are more and more controls and more eyes looking on corporate companies and how they spend their travel budget. So providing a really good, strong four-star product is very, very important. Price will always be a determinator. Budgets are tough. But it boils down to value. I think as long as the value is there, what people are happy to pay for is if they feel that they've received value for money and that they're not being ripped off. I think what turns the traveler off, and I think what turns travelers away, is when they are paying over the odds or significantly higher rates than what they feel that they're getting value for. So as long as going back to the fundamentals are there, if you get a good room, a good experience, a good service level for a reasonable price, then I believe any destination can be successful.